going to drop behind New Mexico. Yes, they have a chance to be tied for first, but not one in the conference. They could be the number 2 seed, which would still be a huge deal, right? That would be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Get Boise State out of there, get San Diego State out of there. If UNLV could be the number 2 seed, that's a big deal. And, listen, the selection committee would look at that. But in order to do that, they got to win tonight. And, of course, they're going to have to win the game on the road against Nevada. What do you see happening out there tonight against a very good San Diego State team?
Man, just such a massive game, right? Like, massive game. And I remember you and I and a bunch of our other guys watching UNLV at the beginning of the season, like the Southern game, and just thinking, like, goodness gracious, this team is terrible. Like,
Right.
This team is terrible, and the mark of you see, you have to, this is my take. The mark of a good coach, in my opinion, is judging a team and how much they improve
Right.
as the year goes on.
Agree.
And just looking at just that alone, like, man, 9 out of the last 10 games, like you said, and from a team that was horrendous to begin this season, just have a sniff of an opportunity to be playing for a share of the conference title and a number 2 seed with 2 games remaining in the season is a fantastic feat. And tonight's game, unfortunately for me, I always have a hard time seeing them beat San Diego State ever because I believe of all the games I've ever gone to, I've never seen them beat San Diego State.
Yeah,
what I mean?
such a physical team, such a well-coached team. Dutch has done such a great job, and of course their run last year to the finals was unbelievable. You want to talk about overachieving, but when I look at the game tonight, it's hard for me because, I see this game going 2 different ways. If UNLV, they're going to have trouble underneath the basket, as most teams do, because San Diego State's so physical. But the key to the game for me, offensively, is UNLV is going to be happy to make their shots. Boone's going to have to get out there and do what he does best and make shots. And if guys like Webster can contribute, and if Rodriguez is making shots, which he's capable of, they are very capable of winning this game tonight. But I think it's going to come down to 3-point shooting. If UNLV can shoot 35 to 40% from 3, I believe they win the basketball game. But if they're not shooting the ball outside well, they're not going to win because I think they're going to have a lot of problems in the paint. That's where San Diego State kills you, in the paint. So that's my opinion. I don't. That's kind of the way. That's kind of the way I see the game going. And Ledee they call him. I think that Ledee is absolutely an NBA player, and I think that
Monster.
and I think that you're not going to be able to contain him tonight. But you can't allow San Diego State to kill you on the offensive glass. So that's what it comes down to me. Make sure San Diego State is one and done on offense. Do a good job rebounding the ball. And if they can shoot well from 3, I think they win tonight. But those are 2 big ifs.
Yeah, I think another good key to look at, in my opinion, is a way to kind of hurt San Diego State and keep them from killing you down low is to make them play defense.
Yes.
Make them play defense, particularly down low. Like, say Boone can get going down low, not turning the ball over, and have one of those games where he's that real offensive threat down on the block. And maybe Whaley has a good game down low as well.
Yep.
Maybe they can get their bigs, the San Diego State bigs, in some foul trouble. If that can happen, because we know that the Mountain West referees love to call fouls. You know what I mean? They like nothing more than to call a ton of fouls. So if they can get them in foul trouble, that can help them out in a big way as well.
Agree. If you're just joining us, Bryan Salmond, Channel 3 Sports. I just saw them and Jesse Merrick over at NASCAR, which was a lot of fun. So, Bryan, we're talking about the game tonight. To me, the key player for UNLV, it might surprise you, Deaton Thomas is going to score his points. He's going to need to be very good tonight. But I think the key to me is Keelan Boone. And the reason why I say that is because Boone is the type of player that forces you to come out and defend him because he's such a good 3-point shooter. Boone needs to have a really good game tonight. He needs to be active. Yes, he's going to need to knock down shots, but he's also going to need to contribute underneath the basket with rebounds. I just think Boone has to have a really good basketball game. His brother is going to have his hands full, but I think Keelan has an advantage at his position. That's an advantage where I think they have against San Diego State. He's going to need to make shots, and like I said, I know I sound like a broken record, but if they can make their outside shots tonight, they're going to win. I expect it to be a really good crowd tonight as well.
Me too. And just like you said to begin this, man, like I haven't gone to a UNLV Running Rebels game and had it be so highly anticipated by myself in a long time, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the feeling I have going to this game tonight, like, man, I can't wait to watch this game.
You
man.
are
This is good.
correct.
I'm hoping the crowd is good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, man, it'll hopefully it has like a throwback Wink Adams feel to it. You know what I mean? As far as the excitement in the crowd.
The last time
I'm looking forward to it.
The last time I felt this way, it was when Dave Rice was coaching and they were playing the #1 team in the country at the Orleans Arena in North Carolina, and they won that game.
Yeah.
The vibe in that game, because a lot of people felt like, and I was one of them, that UNLV could win that basketball game, and they did. It certainly wasn't during the Marvin Menzies days. TJ Otzelberger, while he's doing a good job at Iowa State, didn't do a very good job here. He never wanted to be here. We didn't have that vibe. But I'm going to be the first one to admit I was wrong, and I hope – but here's the thing. We have a very important 2-week stretch, the most important 2-week stretch of the season, 2 more games in the Mountain West Conference tournament. Obviously, if they lose these next 2 games and they, lose in the quarterfinals in the tournament, it's a very disappointing year. So it all comes down to this, right? I mean, if you find a way to just win one of these next 2 games, either beat Nevada on the road or come up with a W tonight, and you win the quarterfinal game in the Mountain West Conference tournament, no matter who it is, then I think you look at this year and you say, okay, we've seen some real progress, but
absolutely.
But I feel like Bryan, I feel like at a minimum that has to happen.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree with that. And what I would say too is that, I mean, just imagine this, Bryan, because I don't know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did you see this happening just where we're at right now, regardless of winning the last 2 games? At the beginning of the season, like it's mind blowing what the turnaround that this team has had.
No, I haven't, and I give Kevin credit, and I more than I give Kevin credit, because I'm not sure the coaching has changed. I'm going to give the players credit. I give the players credit more than maybe the coaching staff, and the reason why is these guys are seniors, and they've said it. Listen, this is it for us. This is it. We need to make a run here for a lot of these guys because they don't want the season to end, and somehow they've come together. They've figured it out, as Keelan Boone said in the press conference the other day after the San Jose State game. They're figuring out how to take care of these teams in the final 5 minutes. Obviously, the Nevada game was very disappointing. Hopefully, if they're in that situation, they don't do that again. But they're figuring it out. Let's remember, and this is something that maybe I forgot at the beginning of the year, is that a lot of these guys, they never played with one another. They're new to playing with one another. So I think it's more of them getting more comfortable with one another, more games under their belt. And I think it showed. And I think they're still, at times, really elite on the defensive end of the floor. My concern is on the offensive end. I feel like there's a little bit too much one-on-one, and there's not enough movement. And that's not going to fly tonight against San Diego State, an elite defensive basketball team. So, Kevin Kruger, his father was always known as a defensive mastermind. And, it shows. Yeah. You see that in Kevin. You see that with the teams. They play hard, particularly on defense. I'm worried about the offensive end of the floor and where the offense comes from. Thomas can't do it on his own tonight. He's going to need – I think Rodriguez is a huge factor. He's a great two-way player when he's playing well. He needs to contribute, and he has been. And so you need other guys that are going to contribute. They need Webster to start shooting the ball better. He's a guy that's going to be left open. He's going to be coming off the bench. He's got to start making shots. They need his offense.
Yeah, he hasn't done that all year.
Yeah.
Like I hope that's not like a savior. That's an added bonus in my opinion. Yeah. And he has been shooting better coming off of the bench because I think the pressure for him got to him at the beginning of the season. I think he was looked at as being one of those guys that's going to be a deadeye and have a good season, and he hasn't had a good season at all. But he's come on as of late after that injury coming off the bench. So I'll say this: as much as you give the players credit for turning around their season, I think in college the majority of, in my opinion, of credit has to go to the coach, man. Like it has to go to the coach. One, I say defensively they played very well defensively, and defense is all want to effort in coaching.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's something they've done. I could not agree with you more as far as offensively, man. Like I really don't like their offense at all.
Yeah.
And it's surprising me how they score anyway, because it's not off of offensive sets generally. It's always off of good play by individuals that get them buckets, like either a good post up, or a good drive by
sure, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And other teams, though, they run great sets and seem like they get better shots off of good sets, and that's something UNLV does well, in my opinion.
I agree. I think, listen, the preseason, the media voted UNLV 6th. Right now they're in 5th. The next 2 games will dictate where they finish. I want to give Kevin Kruger all the credit in the world. I'm going to wait. The next 2 weeks are the most important 2 weeks of the season. If they go 0-2, which I don't want them to, we want UNLV, and Kevin's a great guy. We want the team to succeed. I like Eric Harper, a good athletic director. If they can somehow win one of these next 2, I think asking them to win both is a tough ask. If they can win one of these next 2 games, they win their quarterfinal game, and let's see what happens. Then I'm ready to give Kevin a lot of credit and say, listen, this team improved. But these next 2 weeks just dictate the season. They just do. Yes, is it good that they're in the mix? Absolutely. Have they improved? Absolutely. From where they were? Definitely. They've got some nice wins, particularly a win against Creighton, a top 25 team in the country. They knocked off Colorado State at home. At the time, they were top 25. They beat New Mexico twice. They've got some nice wins on their resume. They've got some really bad wins on their resume as well. The Air Force game was a disaster. I know Kevin doesn't like talking about that, but come selection committee Sunday, that lose is going to come back to haunt them. However, it's their destiny now, and it starts tonight. What is your prediction? What happens tonight?
Oh, why are you asking me that, dude?
Do you want me to answer it first?
Please do. I
think this is going to be an extremely competitive basketball game. I wouldn't be surprised if either team is never up double digits the entire game. I have to be honest. I don't think it's a game to bet on because I think it's a coin flip. However, I have to give the edge to San Diego State because they're so good underneath the basket defensively. It's going to be a physical game, and I just think Dutch is a better coach. With that being said, UNLV has a good chance to win this game. I give San Diego State about a 60% chance of winning this game, and I'm going to say they edge them out by a field goal or 2. I think San Diego State finds a way to win, and I hope I'm wrong, but that's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time seeing UNLV's path to victory. You know what I mean? Against San Diego State, I have a hard time foreseeing them winning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you just said is really about, like, what I think. Like, now, if they're playing Nevada in Nevada, I would give them more of a shot of winning that game. They match up well against Nevada. They always play well against Nevada. Even, they gave that game away, but they outplayed them 90% of that game. You know what I mean? So, in this game, I have a hard time seeing them beating San Diego State. I honestly feel like 70-30 San Diego State winning the game.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I really hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm wrong also. If Keelan Boone has more than 15 points, I think they win the basketball game. But, Bryan, it's going to be fun out there, my man. I'll be seeing you out there at the Thomas & Mack Center later tonight. I can't wait. I'm really excited about this game as well. Always appreciate you coming on. You guys do a great job at Channel 3, Bryan. We'll see you out there later tonight, okay, my man?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me on, B, man. I look forward to talking to you and watching the game, man.
Yeah, I look forward to being back on Channel 3 so everybody could see my handsome self. So I look forward to that.
I mean, they're beating down our doors, man. All the emails, like, where the heck is Shapiro at, man? Have them back out there.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're saying the opposite. But anyway, Bryan Salmond, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you, my man. We'll see you out there tonight, okay?
All right, B. Take it easy, buddy.
Take care. And we will see all of you tomorrow, same time, same place, where Amy Tarkanian is going to be joining us. Have a great day, everybody.